Every one of us faces some levels of shame at one point or the other. Mistakes occur and we feel terrible, especially if we're unable to rectify it. Hello, beautiful and adorable people. I'm excited to welcome you to an insightful and inspiring moment at the Intrepid Ladies Drive. Thank you for tuning into this channel. Please endeavor to like, comment, subscribe, and please share this channel with others so that you can benefit from what we are doing. I'm Ruth Bella Ikide, welcoming you once again to this channel. I may not know your exact reasons for tuning in, but it is not by chance that you are seeing this right now. Perhaps you may be going through some storms that may have produced some levels of shame, as a result of which you have chosen to become invisible because you feel you're no longer good enough, smart enough, or qualified enough because you're probably scared of what people will think or say because they are aware of your past mistakes and errors. For many of us, the past is a heavy burden to bear. We regret or feel ashamed of what we've done and are unable to let go or forgive ourselves for it. But you can actually embrace your vulnerability and let go of shame and guilt. So today I am talking about embracing vulnerability, letting go of guilt and shame. Embracing vulnerability, letting go of guilt and shame. Shame is a feeling of being exposed and seen when we are not ready to be seen. Shame is rooted in how we view ourselves in relation to others and how we think others might view us. Shame gives the impression that something is inherently wrong with our identical core. People experience both shame and guilt at the same time. These two emotions are often confused with one another. Guilt is a negative evaluation of one's behavior, especially when we do something wrong. Shame is a complicated emotion that profoundly affects individuals' psychological well being. Your confidence suffers from these deep seated emotions that affects the way you see yourself. Shame comes from a negative evaluation of oneself that leads to a feeling of inadequacy. Guilt says, what I did was wrong, or what you did was wrong. But shame says, I'm a bad person for doing that, or you're a bad person for doing that. Guilt can keep you on track when you have drifted from your moral standards. It can be a helpful emotion when maintaining relationships. Shame tends to be more painful and more strongly linked to mental health problems. One of the greatest causes of shame is the thought that I should have known better. How could I have done this? What the hell? I should have known, I shouldn't have done that. But how many times have we known better but still ended up making the wrong choices? There isn't a person out there who doesn't have something that they would not want to read about on the pages of national newspapers. Something in their lives that will make them feel embarrassed if it gets to public view. Something they wouldn't want others to hear of or know about. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a secret. There's always something somewhere that'll make you feel ashamed before others get to know about it. Every one of us faces some levels of shame at one point or the other. Mistakes occur and we feel terrible, especially if we're unable to rectify it. Sometimes we look back on our past and wish things could have gone differently. Maybe you wish you had intercepted that proposal. You probably wish you had made your feelings known to your high school crush. Well, if only you hadn't gotten pregnant at a tender age, things could have may have been different, or probably you feel if only you had married someone else, if only you hadn't married the person you married, you wouldn't have ended up getting a divorce, which has left you twisted and broken. You know, if only you had proceeded to the university level, if only you were able to get your master's degree at a certain time in your life, if only you had chosen a different career path, if only you had a better job, if only you had read a different or studied a different course or chosen a different profession, if only you had more money, if only this, if only that. The ifs and ifs continues and the regret cycle continues over and over again. For some persons, shame has its origin in physical, verbal, or emotional neglect or abuse. Your shame may be from an aspect of your identity that is constantly being rejected by others or by yourself that has affected your self esteem in a negative way. Negative self-perception that stems from abusive and neglectful environment as well as from chronic bullying, being belittled, being talked down or looked down upon, being treated as an option rather than a priority, especially from people such as parents, guardians, and other family members who you thought should have prioritized your well being and imposed confidence in you, or even from personal pain that you are dealing with. We all live with a memory of shameful events that we would rather forget. Whatever the experience, the memory of a shameful act lives on. Shame clouds good judgment, skews perception, and drives self destructive behavior. When shamed, you feel powerless. The constant inner criticism sucks your confidence and energy. Not only do we imagine how much better our lives would have been if only we had done things differently, but we also ruminate on how stupid, cowardly, or immoral we were for acting in a certain way in the first place. This can hurt a lot. It can hurt a lot and make you feel helpless and hopeless, but it doesn't have to feel this way. Past errors don't have to consume you. Past errors don't define you. You can relieve yourself from some of the intensity of past hurt, of past regret and shame. We can relieve ourselves from some of the intensity of our regret and shame by analyzing the past. Analyzing the past is a useful way of moving forward. You can't help but look back in retrospect, but you must try to avoid the traps and pitfalls to looking backwards. Don't get stuck in your past. You cannot change your past. You cannot change what you have done. You cannot change what happened, but you shouldn't allow it to continue to hold you back. You can't change where you have been, but you can change where you are going to. And it starts now. The past is gone. So make use of the present. The truth is, we always have reasons for acting, and we had reasons for doing the things we did that have caused us regret and shame. You've got to forgive yourself. Be compassionate towards yourself. Compassion is a sensitivity to one's suffering with a deep commitment to try to alleviate the suffering. Forgive yourself and embrace your vulnerability. Vulnerability is constantly choosing not to hide your emotions or desires from others. It means to freely express your thoughts, feelings, and desires. Embracing vulnerability involves acknowledging and accepting our own limitations and imperfections. It requires us to confront our fears, insecurities, and mistakes. Embracing vulnerability allows you to be your authentic self instead of trying to be someone else, instead of trying to hide your true identity, or instead of trying to, please others and displeasing yourself in the process. It enhances a sense of courage and resilience. Vulnerability is the birthplace of joy and creativity. The first step towards vulnerability, embracing vulnerability, is in total surrender to God, being open to God, coming to Him the way you are, and surrendering it all and allowing Him to take charge. No matter how broken, guilty, or ashamed we feel, God's love for us has not been distorted. God knows the worst things about you, yet He believes the best in you. He's aware of our imperfections. He knows that we all have moments as humans, we all have moments of imperfections. God is aware of your shortcomings, but He still wants you, flaws and all. He still got plans for your life. He is aware of the pills. He knows about the fund embezzlement. He is aware of the series of abortion. He's aware of the drug addiction. He knows about the divorce and painful separation. He's aware of your secret tears, shame, and regrets. But he still wants your voice in the choir. He still knows that your message can impact lives. He still wants your message. He still loves you despite your imperfections. And he wants you to cast your burdens on him. He wants you to exchange your guilt and shame for his love and care.
Mercy said no, I'm not gonna let you go.
That's why Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He said, "Take my yoke upon thee and learn of me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." He wants to exchange his own lightness for your burden. He wants you to cast your shame on him. He wants you to cast it all on him and let him take charge of you and give you a new beginning. He says, "Cast your bodies upon me, for I care for you." He cares about you. He loves you despite your shame and imperfections. Don't let shame stop you